Don't ever touch us. Hey, you know war now. Yes, I know. You don't know war. You will see the war. We will show you war. We will show. We will stay here. We will fuck off you. It's none of your fucking business. I'm a South African. I'm a South African. No permits. Our constitution doesn't allow a foreigner to retain in the country.
We are enforcing section 17 of the constitution here, Mama. You need to go learn and face your own government. Get medical attention in your own country.
We don't want to.
Our healthcare workers, they are only going to give medical attention to locals who are paying tax in this country.
Shop inspection turns chaotic as confrontation erupts between illegal immigrants and Patriotic Alliance members.
We have every right. We have every right. Abahambe. Abahambe. I know war now. Yes, I know. You don't know war. You will see the war. We will show you war. We will show. We will stay here. We will fuck off you. It's none of your fucking business. I'm a South African. I'm a South African. And I will get you.
Of Labour was saying that from now on, whether a foreigners or a refugees is having a legal paper or illegal paper, no job anymore. So how are we going to survive with our children?
The city of Johannesburg is cracking down on non-compliant traders in the inner city in an effort to enforce bylaws.
And this is on a pavement where people must walk. By law enforcement, we are working. We are here in the morning and we are taking these things away.
The city of Johannesburg maintains that the permit registration drive is a progressive effort to formalize and regulate the informal trading sector. However, there has been some resistance, with some traders accusing the city of harassing them and confiscating their goods in order to compel them to register, a process that traders claim was not properly communicated.
And then we'll let the ladies bad card. Honestly, because we are financial.
However, the Socio-Economic Rights Institute, representing the South African Informal Traders Forum, has denounced the rollout, calling it premature and
if we look back, if we trace our history, Zimbabweans, Malawians were coming here to mine, to build Johannesburg. This is the Johannesburg that now South Africans feels like it's ours, but it was built on the sweat of migrants. We have seen, when I came into South Africa, that was 2002, Midrand was not built the way it was built. If you check who was working in the construction industry, it was migrants that were coming from another country. Right now, South Africa is now built. It's now everyone now is attracted to South Africa because it's now well built. Now we are sitting here and say these people must go home, but we forget what they contributed to the society. Look at the taxi industry right now.
Right.
We want to to go back to the ground. If you look at the taxi industry right now, how many billions is it contributing to South Africa? And look at it right now. A South African lives in Soweto. They live in townships, in locations, right? They use buses to go to work.
Yeah.
Who is going to those taxis that is bringing in billions in South Africa?
So you're saying that it's the migrants that work there? Can I ask you, so you're saying that South Africa was built by, migrants that were working in the farm. Were this documented or undocumented? Just from your point of view, back in the days, during those times when they're coming in to build the mines, in your perspective, during those control,
Without knowing that the migrants were documented by then, I don't have that.
You don't have that information.
I don't have.
Let me speak practical. There is a place called River Park in Alex. It's Zimbabwe Avenue. All the hijackings, all the killings that happen on London Road are Zimbabweans. Yes. And I'm not going to be apologetic about this thing. Yeah. We've got an industrial area next to Alex by Malboro. It's all Mozambicans there. Yes. We've got an industrial area on the other side in Limro Park. We've got Malawians there. Now we are saying to one another that the youth unemployment ANC is making things better for us. There's no betterness in this thing. Yes. In fact, our own Home Affairs, our own SAPS officials are getting bribes from some of these ones. Mr. Caitlin McKenzie put it straight. we shouldn't be apologetic about this thing. Yes. These people must move away from our places. Alex was supposed to have 75,000 people in it. We are sitting at 1.4 million. That's why you find electricity breaking. That's why you get water everywhere. That's why our clinics are full. Each and every corner where you go to, these illegal immigrants are making something wrong. And with the Ethiopians, let me give you an example. There's a video that used to trend, I think about 2 years back, when Ethiopian decided to be a boss in Alex and lay his hand on a cop. Go to Ethiopia and do that thing now and see what will happen.
I am a Rwandan refugee since 1998. I come here, when you come from Rwanda with a fly, you can spend for 4 hours. But me, I spend 4 good years. 4 good years, 4 years to come to this country via feet. So there is something you don't realize here. So in this country, there's something you have that no one have it around the world, around the entire planet.
What is it, sir?
You have a freedom.
Yes.
You have a freedom. That's the freedom.
For South Africans or for you?
I'm talking about South Africa as a whole. And when I'm saying South Africa, I'm including myself because I'm 25 years here.
25 years in the country?
Yes, since 1988. I'm a refugee, qualified refugee. So we come here for is for the freedom you have. No one have it. The South African freedom is very unique. There's nobody can find it in the world. Yeah. That is why we're here.
Can I just ask you this? In 2023 with Rwanda's progress, are you still a refugee?
Yes. Let me come to my point. I'm still a refugee. They come to the point I want to make here. I'm happy because I'm addressing the Home Affairs here. Let us have a module or moderate ECOWAS or East African Community where I come from. When you see, I was asking her name, her surname and your name is related to Lesotho and Botswana and everything.
Right.
So you come from there, is your brothers and sisters. When I see Mutlongo, I see Ngobe, all of Zimbabweans. Me, I'm a Mkiza from Rwanda. So we are moved to... we are all Mutu from the River Congo to Cape Town to entire Cameroon, South Africa. Therefore, if ANC as ruling party want to legalize so-called refugee and immigration, which I disagree with, if it's a Zimbabweans, let his ID be as a passport to South Africa. So when he came, South Africa must create a system all up.
All right. You can't go into Saudi Arabia where Mecca is if you are Muslim from Yemen because there's rules, rightly so in Saudi Arabia. We cannot be made to feel guilty for our rules. These people must go home. This gentleman says to me now, you said you're going to switch off the oxygen. I am going to switch off the oxygen. I'm going to build the wall when I'm in power. I'm going to switch off the oxygen because during COVID, our people could not access oxygen. Well, you guys were getting nice oxygen there. When I'm a leader here, I will build the wall. I will mass deport you guys. You guys are the worst we have here. Zimbabweans are bad, but not as bad as you Nigerians.
I'm Patrick Mukhalusi, known as enemy of illegal immigrants from Operation Dodola Civil Rights. So the lack of political will is what we see now. And then remember, people are treating us as if we are a capital city of Africa or Asia. So Gayton is right when say you can't talk of illegal you can't talk of free borderless Africa if you are in Zimbabwe. We are pro-Africa, but Africa cannot be seen illegally uniting in South Africa only. We need to see that happening also in Zimbabwe, in Nigeria as well. Yeah. So now they come here. Gayton is right. They come here. They marrying the marriages that are in contravention of Section 15(3) of our Constitution. The marriages are being conducted without following any of our tradition and family laws. So in our tradition as South Africans, we used to say which means if Gayton marries my sister here, and then Gayton can't go and stay in his in-laws. He must build a sister a home. So nowadays we see Amir here. Amir is just marrying South African, and then he automatically qualifies to be a permanent South African resident. So we need audit, Home Affairs audit in terms of Section 19.2 of Home Affairs. So whether they got papers legally, then we need to audit. How did they get them? Because according to that section, then if you obtain any of our ID in means of fraud, false representation, concealment of material fact, then the Minister of Home Affairs has got that right to deprive you of that.
Let me hold you right there, because the Home Affairs Department has also been implicated.
We are not here to beg. You can't say we're begging people to enforce. You are in power, enforce the laws of this country. We want Section 13.2 of Refugees Act. Go build refugee camps. The way you say, build refugee camps next to our borders. The purpose of that is to study these people. What kind of people are coming into our country? Some of them are mercenaries. Then they are stronger than our police. You understand what we say? We also demand an Section 19.2 citizenship audit. You audit all these people, whether they do have permanent resident status in South Africa. We want it as early as 1994. Let them go. They will come one by one. Then we will call them if we want them. You want?
We are in South African page to open P1 South Africa on knitting the extension of P1 property syndicates from Nigeria to South Africa. Kunene presents the president of P1 Properties.
The often unseen community contributions of P1 in South Africa are brought to light.
P1 has developed a structure that is going to help our people here, plug our people into the system to leverage the real estate industry in Nigeria.
A deeper understanding of their significant and enduring impacts beyond celebratory gatherings is offered to the viewers. While introducing the syndicate of P1 Properties in South Africa, Ailetu Musagunene on AIE TV, African Image Expression, Johannesburg.
Good evening, viewers. My name is Azo Barugo. I am representing P1 at the Ohaneze Festival, Igbo Festival in Johannesburg. I came all the way from Nigeria for this event. Before I continue, let me use this opportunity to acknowledge and thank the founders of this organization, Dr. Mrs. Jane Onwumele, Mama Global. Mama Global, thank you so much for the platform that you've created that gives me the opportunity. Now, I brought this platform to interact with our people in Johannesburg. I want to use the opportunity to thank you for the good thing that you've doing, how you've created this platform and the opportunities that you've given us. Now, I came here for this event to use this opportunity to introduce P1 to our community in South Africa, to Ohaneze Ndibo, South Africa. Ohaneze Ndibo is one of the biggest of the Igbo socio-cultural organization we have in South Africa, and it has been of age. So I want to use this opportunity to tell them, bring them the good news of P1 and talk to them about the structure and the system that P1 has created, how they can be here and plug into the system of what is happening. I am the center coordinator, the Arena of Champions Ikeja. I'm also affiliate mentee P1 Homes, all the way from Nigeria, P1 Nigeria. I came to South Africa, Johannesburg, to witness the event of the Ohaneze South Africa. Ohaneze South Africa is one of the biggest social cultural Igbo organization we have in South Africa. Africa. And I have just come to witness what they are doing, and knowing that we have intention, P1 has intention to make an inroad into South Africa. I want to use this opportunity to interface, to introduce P1 to people of Nigeria in South Africa, to Ohanese Ndibo South Africa, and to Nigerian community in South Africa. I also wanted to use this opportunity to scout and see how P1 can collaborate with many of the Nigerian community events and most of the Nigerian socio-cultural organization that we have in South Africa. Also, to bring them the good news of P1, to bring them the news that P1 has developed a structure that is going to help our people here, plug our people into the system to leverage the real estate industry in Nigeria.
My name is Jason Oswafo. I'm a part of the leadership of P1 South Africa. P1 is the first network real estate development company in Nigeria that has been existing for 12 years, empowering the land banking and estate development, especially in eastern Nigeria. Though P1 has got presence in about 30 states of the Federation, places in West Africa, offices in United Kingdom, Canada, United States, and now we are in South African page to open P1 South Africa. P1 is dedicated to powering the Akuluono project. P1 South Africa has partnered with Ohanese Ndibo to develop the Igbo Festival as a backbone of powering the Akuluono project. This project is also looking at wider food festival, cosmetics, indigenous medicine, and indigenous knowledge systems. There's a lot in the package, but we're absolutely delighted to be part.
Africa is for Africans. So it is said. This is what it means. This is the definition of Africa for Africans. Have a look. Africa for Africans. That's what it means. Africa for Africans. And it's funny because that is said about South Africa, and in this instance, Johannesburg. Africa for Africans. All right, let's just say we take that narrative that Africa is for Africans. So is this a reflection of what Africans are all about? Is that what it is? Africa for Africans. Haiti, Africa for Africans. Should we rhyme with that as a poem? Africa for Africans. Oh, Africa, my Africa. I am proud of Africa because I'm an African and I can do whatever it is that I want in Africa. And this is exactly what I want Africa for Africans to look like. Doesn't make sense. And I cannot come to someone else's house and then change how they should live. All right. It's the justification, Africa for Africans. Then that means that Africans are dirty people. Africans are people without law. Africans are people without rules. Africans are people without class. Africans do as they please, however they please. Africans are identified or associated with anything that is filth. Then we are proud to be Africans. Africa for Africa. It's our struggle. It's something that we are proud of. No, it can never be like that. An African child was taught to respect. An African child was taught to be clean. An African child was injected with wisdom. An African child was injected with thinking rationally. An African child is not this. It is never. So we can never justify doing something that is wrong by saying Africa is for Africans. This is totally unacceptable. It's funny that Africa is for Africans only when you are in South Africa. But I cannot come to your country and say Africa is for Africans, and then 7 of my people are deported back or are arrested from your country. Yet Africa is for Africans. And I'm told that I'm illegally there as an African in Africa. You see? So these laws or these rules or whatever, they are not balanced. And they don't have a truth in them. Because only when it applies to South Africa, Africa is for Africans, but any other country, Africa is not for Africans. That's what it is. So, and doing something that is right, cleanliness is next to godliness. We all as Africans claim that Africans are praying people, Africans are this spiritual people. So this is the definition of being spiritual. Something is wrong somewhere. And you cannot go to someone else's household and tell them what to do simply because now you are present. If I am fighting for my rights, let me do that knowing that everything that I do has a backup. But if it doesn't have a backup, then I do not have the rights. All the rights are being taken away from me. So the city has been taken to court for cleaning this in the city of Johannesburg with so much history. Johannesburg has so much history. And now they're actually not even trying. They're preserving and bringing back the dignity that drew people who are from Africa to another continent or to another country, which is in Africa. I mean, continent is it's Africa, but to a country that is in Africa that has so much history. Because then if Africa is for African, why are you not staying in your country? If Africa is for Africans, stay in your country, be comfortable in your country because you are in Africa, by the way. And do whatever like this in your country and be comfortable to live with that. African child, do not disgrace yourself. That is not acceptable. This is not a reflection of an African child. I am an African child. I'm proud to be an African child. But I cannot justify my wrongs by saying Africa is for Africans, and yet I'm not doing something that is right. What does it say to other people who are not Africans about Africans? What conversation should they have about Africans when they're sitting and chatting? Yeah, what would be spoken? Even our government is failing us. When people are doing something that is right, they are being brought to court. As a Christian, then it does prove Jesus Christ right, because he did something that is right and he was brought to court. It means when you're doing something that is right, you are supposed to be the one brought to court to answer for what? For doing right. So wrong should just be acceptable. No, that's not what we want. And you know what? In South Africa, we have this saying, Ubuntu. But Ubuntu is not this. That is not Ubuntu. South Africans are kind, South Africans are understanding. But if you're taking advantage of who we are, instead of learning and embracing Ubuntu that we have or that we are as a country. Don't take us for granted like that. Don't take us for granted like that. No. So respect the law of South Africa. Abide by the law of South Africa. Come into South Africa legally. Produce your legal papers, not fake papers. Then you will be acceptable, given a nice accommodation or have access to nice accommodation. You know, feel free, enjoy this big pie, which is the gold that we have in South Africa, which we are proud of. We don't mind sharing. But only if things are done right. So we want to say to the city of Johannesburg, whatever it is that you are doing, go on and do it. Clean our city. I tell you guys, I read a letter that I wrote to the mayor of Johannesburg because this really, it hits here because I grew up in Johannesburg. I know what Johannesburg used to be like. I know what Johannesburg Sun International made me to feel like whenever I walk past it. I went to school in Johannesburg. I know what Johannesburg is. We used to have Bob's shoes. We used to have so many other things in Johannesburg. Carlton Center Hotel. You know, there's so many hotels that we used to have. But this is what Johannesburg has become. No, we are going to clean our city. We are going to claim our city back. It is our right as South Africans, or it is our right. Oh yes, because our children are going to grow up in Johannesburg. There's a history behind Johannesburg and we need to preserve it. It's our precious thing that we possess. Respect us. Irregardless of how you feel about us, but respect the country and respect yourself as an individual because you are telling us where you come from. No, which is not true. So respect yourself, respect the country, and everybody will live in peace and enjoy. Thank you.
Attempts to get comment from the UN High Commission for Refugees failed. But the Salvation Army, speaking on behalf of the Commission, say no formal correspondence has been received from the foreign nationals. Nobesutu Yejana, Cape Town.
The slogan Africa for Africans is kind of misinterpreted. Don't say Africa for Africans and you think you own every country in Africa. You are from, let's say, Ethiopia, and then you say you own South Africa, you own Uganda, you own any country in Africa because you feel like Africa for Africans. That's not how it works. Africa for Africans, when you are in your own segmented area, don't say Africa for Africans and then if you feel like the whole of Africa is yours. No, your only part where you belong to is where your Africa starts and ends. That place where you belong to, where you're born, where your ancestors are originated. I want to read for you one Bible verse. Proverbs 12:11. It says, those who work their land will have abundant food, but those who chase fantasies have no sense. My friend, what are you doing in South Africa? You're chasing fantasies. The Bible has said those who chase fantasies have no sense. And this is truth, Bible truth. Those who work their land will have plenty of food. Your land is where you're born. Your land is where your ancestors are born. Your land is where you belong. Your belonging land, where you came from. Be Ethiopia, Somalia, or where, Djibouti. I don't even know, but where you're coming from is your homeland. And that's your land, which the Bible is talking about. If you farm your land, you'll have plenty of food. If you don't and chase fantasies, the Bible said, you have no sense. Foreigners, let's think about this.
In 1994, Mandela was felt strongly about having open borders, about welcoming Africans from across the continent. What do you think about that?
I think that is the highest level of sellout. You can't, when South Africans were in exile, they were in camps and they were restricted to go to other part of those countries. So why do you allow foreigners to go all over in South Africa and run business and make girlfriends and
Welcome back to Gist9. So there is growing tension in South Africa as more indigenous citizens they express deep frustration over the increasing presence of foreign nationals in their local communities and businesses. And many South Africans, they believe that foreigners, especially those from other African countries, are gradually taking over opportunities that should be reserved for locals who continue to struggle with high unemployment and poor living conditions. And in the midst of all this, recently, a Nigerian entrepreneur launched a new real estate company in South Africa, a move that has sparked mixed reactions among South Africans. While some people see it as a sign of African unity and investment, others view it as yet another example of how foreign nationals are dominating key sectors that locals believe they should control. And this situation has reignited debates about whether the South African government is doing enough to protect their citizens' interests and give them priority in business and job opportunities. And it's understandable why many indigenous South Africans are upset, because when you live in a country with such a high rate of unemployment and poverty, I think the people want to see real empowerment and growth within their own communities, not foreigners thriving while they remain behind. And that's bad for them, because they are busy supporting the people's call for fair access to economic opportunities. And this isn't xenophobia, it's a demand for justice and balance. South Africans simply want to see their own people rise first before opening the doors wider for outsiders. So we can't really blame them for this. Well, what do you think about this? Let me know what you think in the comment section. And if today is your first time joining my channel, please kindly like, share and subscribe.